The once vibrant and robust U.S. middle class is still rapidly shrinking as living expenses rise and earnings continually decline. Millions of Americans are falling further and further out of the middle class. Over the past 2 years, situations have gotten worse and the slide has greatly accelerated. The shrinking number of manufacturing employment has prevented a sizable part of the U.S. population from achieving middle-class status as more and more of our production is outsourced to foreign nations. While the rate of inflation continues to rise, salaries are not keeping pace. More than half of American homes are being choked to death by a mountain of debt as the cost of living, electricity, and basic necessities continue to rise. The rate at which middle-class jobs are disappearing is astonishing, and less and fewer individuals can afford to buy a home in middle-class areas. As a result, more people are being obliged to seek financial aid from the government. Our overall wealth is decreasing when the price of basics increases more quickly than salaries. At the same time, a greater proportion of wealth is being concentrated at the very top of the income distribution. Without further ado, here are 20 statistics that demonstrate how the middle class is dying as we approach 2022. The numbers we're about to report reveal why the U.S. middle class is vanishing in front of our very eyes. Welcome to 360 Economist. Please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe as we have a lot to cover in this video. Number 1. 54.4% of American youth between the ages of 16 and 24 are employed today. Even if only 69.9% of young individuals between the ages of 24 and 29 are employed right now, 73% of occupations for both groups are low-paying. Number 2. In America, there are approximately 262 million people of working age, yet only roughly 161 million of them are employed, yielding a participation rate of just 61.1%. Number 3. About 73% of American businesses, according to Career Builder, will find it difficult to expand their workforce in 2022. Number 4. 70% of employment available today don't sustain middle-class lives and pay less than $35,000. Number 5. According to Forbes, 13.4% of Americans, or 42.5 million people, are living below the poverty line. An estimated 131 million people struggle with money instability. Number 6. More than 15 million Americans, 65 and older, lack stable finances. 14.8 million people live in or near poverty. There are 11.9 million underprivileged children in the U.S., or 1 in every 6 of the country's youngsters. Number 7. In 1984, homes headed by a person 65 or older had a median net worth that was 10 times greater than households headed by a person 35 or younger. Number 8. Since 2021, inflation has increased by 7.5%, while worker earnings have risen by an average of 4.2%. Statistic indicates that during the past 12 months, workers' incomes have declined by 3.3%. Number 9. Only 35% of American households are owned by the middle class, and another 30% of middle-class workers are completely priced out of the market, despite the fact that the value of residential real estate in the U.S. has increased by $5.8 trillion to $141 trillion. Most of this wealth growth has been concentrated among the wealthy. Number 10. Many formerly prosperous manufacturing cities are becoming abandoned wasteland. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has seen a 302,971% decline in population during the past 2 years. Number 11. In 1970, there were $430 billion in consumer debt in the United States. Currently, it is $15.6 trillion. Number 12. The number of federal tax laws and regulations has grown by 18,000% since 1913. And while the wealthy can hire attorneys and accountants to help them avoid paying taxes, the ordinary class cannot enjoy the same privilege. Number 13. In the previous 24 months, 3.3 more Americans have become impoverished than they were. Right now, at least 45% of people are living in extreme poverty. Number 14. A family of 4 making $3,120 per year was considered to be living below the poverty level in 1963. Today, the same family's poverty level was $26,172, and a family of 4 would need almost $58,000 in order to make ends meet. Number 15. Over 443,000 enterprises filed for bankruptcy between 2008 and 2020. Number 16. Nearly half of all employment in the U.S. pay less than minimum wage, and 46% of workers between the ages of 18 and 64 are currently employed with low-paying jobs. Number 17. In the United States, the median regularly weekly wage for a full-time worker in 2020 was $752.48 after taxes. Although, nearly 50% of Americans make $500 or less every week. Number 18. Food costs are escalating out of control. When compared to a year ago, the price of beef is up to 23%. The price of eggs is up to 12.5%. And the price of poultry is up to 10.4%. Number 19. Over the past 10 years, the U.S. has seen an increase in electricity costs that is more than the general rate of inflation. Across the nation, average increases in electricity costs are 20%. Number 20. Last Monday, the price of gasoline reached $3.47, the highest level in 8 years. There are a number of additional figures that, tragically, show the increasing decline of the U.S. middle class. Over the last few years, the economy has been rapidly contracting, and economists believe this trend is only getting started. As our politicians and officials struggle to combat inflation and wreak havoc on the financial markets, a perfect storm of circumstances threatens to cause even more catastrophe in 2022.